Hi Hammer fans, I'm Rob Gotchall, Marketing Manager of Players and Performance for Hammer. I'm joined today by Rich Hanson, International Sales Manager and Ball Development Manager for Hammer. We're going to walk you through the Hammer product line today. Rich, where would you like to start as we go through the entire Hammer product line?
Yeah, let's start down here with our spare category, the balls we use for shooting spares. We have two different options for consumers. We have the traditional polyester cover stock, but we also have this one that features a core inside of it. So this features the gas mask core, which is a core that's in our Black Widow line. So we have a polyester cover that's shiny, so it's not going to create a lot of friction with the lane. But we do have a full-size core in it that offers flare potential. So if it's kind of a dual purpose. You can use it for spares, but you can also, if the lanes get really dry or you have some slower ball speed and you can't control reactive balls, that spare by the Widows here is a good product. And the next is a tough ball. This actually features a different cover stock for us. This is a polythane, so it's a cover stock designed to offer you the in-between performance of a urethane ball and a polyester ball. It is polished, so it's going to get into a roll, but it's not really going to hook down lane because there is no core in this one. It's a traditional pancake, very little flare that's going to happen in this core. So yeah, it could be used on dry lane conditions, but this one is truly a tougher, longer lasting spare ball. That's why we came out with it, because this one's going to feature our 3-year warranty because it does have carbon fiber in it. So that one's perfect for that as well.
So as we go from the spare category, we'll go to a long traditional standing nameplate with the Hammer brand, the Vibe series. We offer 3 in our current product line. We have the cherry, the onyx, and the orange. Just kind of tell the Hammer fans what the difference is in each of the 3 balls.
Yeah, so we have, like Rob said, we have the cherry, which is the pearl. We have the Vibe onyx, which is a solid, and then we have the orange Vibe, which is a solid as well. The difference here is color, pearls versus solid, but we also have a slight change in cover stock in all 3 of these. So if you threw all 3 side by side, they're probably only about 3 to 4 boards hooked, the difference between all 3 of them. The cherry is just a little longer, a little more angular. The onyx is more mid lane, more controlled down lane, and then the orange fits right in between. It gives you a little bit of mid lane, but also gives you a little bit of pop. But all of them are better suited for medium to drier lane conditions.
So as we go from the Vibe series, we kind of step on up to a little more performance. In the same category, but we have 2 different cores here. We have the Ruthless and the Flawless, which feature the same core, and then we have the Diesel Torque. Kind of explain the design intent behind the Ruthless and the Flawless, and then how the Diesel Torque and the Ruthless would compare to each other, since they have very similar finishes.
Yeah, so both the Ruthless and the Flawless feature the exact same 40-watt core. So it's more of a light bulb, traditional shaped core. They both have the exact same cover stock. It is a juice cover stock. This one's a solid, sanded, polished pearl. So being the same core, we're really reliant on the finish and being a solid versus a pearl. So the solid is better suited for more medium to oily lanes, because it's going to create much more mid-lane reaction, because it creates friction with the lane from the cover stock being sanded. But a good, strong overall ball motion. Over the Flawless, the pearl is going to be cleaner through the front and just have a quicker response time when it sees a friction, so it's a little more angular, probably more a true medium lane condition bowling ball.
Okay. And then we have the Diesel Torque here in the same performance category, but we definitely have a little more core, a little more flare potential here. Kind of tell everyone what the difference is here between those balls.
Yeah, they both have, this one also features juice cover stock, juice solid, so exact same cover stock on the Ruthless, just like you said, different core. So we have a slightly lower RG, slightly higher differential. So the lower the RG is going to rev a little quicker, the more flare potential gives us more traction on the lane, more fresh surface. So you're probably seeing this one being more mid lane than the Ruthless, and a touch more overall hook compared to the Ruthless. But still, this is probably a medium to slightly oily lane ball for you.
So as we move from these 3, next we move into kind of the iconic ball category of the Hammer brand. It all started with urethane, and here we have our thick shell symmetrical urethane balls. We have the black and we have the purple pearl urethane. Let's kind of compare the difference between these 2 balls that have been in our line for quite some time now.
Yeah, Hammer's been known for urethane for years. When I was a kid bowling back in the 80s, Hammer had the best urethane. The Blue Hammer was like the most iconic urethane ball at the time. So when we brought urethane back, we wanted to go back to the black, which was one of the original ones that came out. This is more like your traditional urethane that was out back in the 80s. It creates a good footprint in the front part of the lane, but it doesn't have the ability to absorb oil like a reactive ball does. So when it hits the back of the lane, it's smoother to change direction. So this ball is awesome for drier lanes, shorter oil patterns, those with higher rev rates that have trouble controlling the break point out of a reactive ball. But to complement that, we have the purple. The purple we came out with 3 years ago, selling extremely well. It's the best urethane ball in the market. It shows by the success we have on the tours with it. But this one it's a little bit different formulation compared to the black. It's really conformal and creates a big footprint in the lane. So you see a stronger overall shape out of the purple, better continuation down lane. Still not a lot of flare potential, so that cover stock just creates a lot of traction.
Yeah, you kind of touched on with the success of out on tour with the Purple Pearl. I mean, this is worldwide. I mean, it's probably the most sought after urethane ball that everyone's using. We see in all the collegiate tournaments, all the collegiate kids are using the Purple Hammer.
Yeah.
Jacob Buttriff has dominated some events over the last few years using the Purple Hammer. And then just recently, Dom Barrett just won his 9th tour title at the Kuwait Open using the Purple Pearl urethane.
Yeah, definitely a staple in bowlers' bags with sport patterns, tougher patterns, like you said, the college, the pros. Anybody that bowls on tougher lane conditions definitely wants to put a purple in their bag.
So as we move from the symmetrical thick shell urethanes, let's move up and talk about our Black Widow series, but let's first talk about the Black Widow urethane and kind of how it compares to those symmetrical urethane
Yeah, like
balls.
you said, thick shelled. These have a much higher RG, lower differential. This one's a thin shelled urethane. So we have a Black Widow gas mask core inside. We have an outer core, then we have the thinner shell on the cover stock. What that allows is lower RG, so it allows the core to rev up easier. Higher differential allows us to get a lot more flare potential. This one's asymmetric. So you're going to see not only more overall hook, but a sharper break point of this ball because it's asymmetry. So you're probably going to see about 3 boards more overall hook than you would see out of these. Really best suited for those that have maybe medium to lower rev rates that want urethane bite type ball motion, or these are better suited for guys with higher rev rates, the 500 rev rates, the 400 rev rates.
They just need a little more help here.
Yeah,
This ball just helps a little more to where you don't have to catch it as much as you would trying to get those to roll up. So as we move from the urethane balls, now we get back into the reactive balls, and the Black Widow nameplate has been a staple for many, many years now. And we have 2 more balls that are kind of iconic to the nameplate. We have the Black Widow Black Gold, and then we have the Black Widow Pink.
Yep.
Kind of explain to the Hammer fans the difference in these 2 pieces, and then any information you want to share on the history of the Black Widow nameplate.
Yeah, I mean, that nameplate's been around for a long time. I believe 2006-07 area was the very first Black Widow. It's been a staple in the Hammer brand for years. The Black Widow line is just known for that gas mask core, very strong core. This core naturally creates a very angular change of direction down lane. We came out with the Black Gold about 1.5 years ago. This is a hybrid version. It features our aggression cover stock. Very strong mid lane, but then again, very strong back end. This most recently, that's about in the spring, we came out with the Black Widow Pink. For the first time, we put carbon fiber in the cover stock in this price point, in this category. That carbon fiber not only makes it more durable, but it also makes it when it starts picking the lane up, it picks up even more. It's like tread on a tire, snow tires. It's really digging in. So being a pearl, it's cleaner. It's gonna be more angular, and you put that carbon fiber in there, it makes it even more angular. So this one is probably the most angular Black Widow we've ever made. So that's probably why it makes it so popular.
And the Black Widow Pink has been wildly successful, on the lanes, but in the marketplace as well. It's obviously one of the hottest selling balls in the market in 2019, and then success on the lanes. Yeah, we had Dom Barrett shoot 300 with it right out of the gate at the World Series of Bowling in Detroit this past year, and then Bill O'Neill made his run through the PBA playoffs in Portland, Maine, predominantly using a Black Widow Pink. So as we move on from the Black Widow series, we move on to a newer series of balls in the Hammer brand, the Web series. We have 3 different balls. We have the Web, we have the Web Tour, and then we have the Web Pearl. But first I want to focus here on the Web and the Web Tour because we have 2 sanded symmetrical balls, similar nameplates, but very different characteristics in the performance of these 2 balls.
Widely different ball motion. Yeah.
So explain to the Hammer fans why these 2 balls are so different from each other.
We have the same main body core shape. The difference in the core itself is this one features a pancake at the top, so it has a dense piece at the top of the core, which helps aid in creating differential in the bowling ball. This one, we do not have it in it. So by having that pancake in this version, we have an 0.48 differential. So we have about 5+ inches of flare potential. Here in the Tour version, we have a 30 differential. So we have about 3 inches of flare potential. So almost half as much differential for flare-wise in the ball. So that helps cut down the hook of the ball. So a little more angular motion, a little more controlled motion. And on top of that, this one has a new Tour V1 cover stock. So this one's aggression in a hybrid version. This is Tour V1. Tour V1 helps create a much bigger footprint on the lane. So the bigger the footprint, the more the ball can slow down, can read the front part, read the mid lane. You put that cover stock with a low flaring core, and you get a very strong, predictable, controlled motion. And it's really best suited for tougher lane conditions. When someone is bowling on shorter patterns, or they're trying to control the lane, keep the shot more in front of them, this is the ideal ball for that.
Yeah, when you're trying to control the lane, you really, less flare is often better. And what's really special in my eyes about this ball is the Tour V1 cover stock. You can sand this ball to 500 grit, and you can use it on some of the heaviest of oils, and it creates that footprint, allows it to pick up in the oil, but give you that controlled motion. And then, you know, when the lanes get really dry or really wet dry, you're able to shine this cover stock. It's able to be clean through the front, but not be extremely responsive to that friction and just kind of roll off of it. So I think we've obviously got a very special line here with these balls, but this one in the new Tour V1 cover stock, it's really something unique and different to the Hammer brand. So we go from the Web and the Web Tour to the recently released Web Pearl. You know, obviously the biggest difference here is it's pearlized and it's shiny, where the other two are sanded.
Yeah.
What kind of performance differences are we going to see from the Web Pearl compared to these other two?
Yeah, so we have the sanded hybrid, then we have the polished pearl. So the sanded versus pearl, or shiny, you're going to see more length of the shiny ball and a little more angularity down lane. But what we were trying to do is replicate similarly to a ball that was very popular the last 2 years with the Tour players, was the Rodman Pearl. I know that's a ball that kind of flew under the radar with most the average bowlers, but that is a ball that you guys have used in the Tour a lot and helped the players win titles, get to shows, and so forth. We wanted to complement that ball because it does feature the same core, but this is a different cover stock. This one being the Aggression Pearl. That one featured Juice Max, which is a more mid-laney cover stock. This is a more angular cover stock. So comparing this to a Rodman Pearl, cleaner, more angular, but not massively different. But it really helps complete this product line. You have your Tour version, which is all about control. You have your stronger piece for medium to oily lanes, and then when lanes start breaking down, you need something to get down the lane and flip really hard but be symmetrical. This is the right ball for that.
So we go from symmetrical balls in a great performance category up to our high performance line, and we're going to start with a high performance symmetrical ball here in the Sauce. This core's been around in the Hammer brand for a while. Just kind of tell people why the Sauce is so much different than some of the other symmetrical balls we have in the Hammer line.
Sure. Shape of the core matters. Core numbers matter. That helps dictate how the ball uses its energy as it rolls down the lane. This one features slightly more differential, just ever so slightly, but a little bit lower RG, so it's going to rev up a little quicker, have a little more flare potential. It's a different shape. This is a much more rounder shape. This is a little bit bigger, taller shape. What that does is it allows this ball, the combination of everything, CFI and the Aggression cover stock, allows it to pick up the lane stronger. Just a much stronger overall piece than compared to like a regular Web. More front, more middle, more overall, just more overall hook, yeah.
So we move from the Sauce to the three statement balls. We have the Statement Pearl, the Statement Hybrid, and the Statement Solid. Basically, very self-explanatory.
Speak for themselves, right?
They speak for themselves, but these are the big core balls, the big engines. These are your pickup truck type balls with those massive engines and power. Explain to people the design intent behind the Statement series.
Sure.
And then obviously touch on the performance differences between the Solid, the Pearl, and the Hybrid.
Yeah. So we feature a very strong asymmetric core design. 247 RG, so it's very low. RG, the lower it is, the faster it wants to rev up. So we got a very low RG. Differential, more flare potential. We got a very high differential. And then we put an asymmetric shape to it. When it sees a break point, it wants to respond quicker. So Very similar RG is here, more differential than here, but also asymmetric. So your statement is definitely your true heavy oil ball. When you get on a lane condition, maybe a longer pattern or something that has a high volume, definitely a statement. Solid. When we came out with the solid, we also launched the Pearl. So we have a complement to it right then and there. We have a Pearl version, same engine, same core inside of it. Both balls feature carbon fiber throughout the cover stock and inside the core. The difference being solid versus Pearl. So Pearl's cleaner through the front, it's polished, and it's more angular. So a great complement to the Statement Solid. Then finally, most recently, we launched the Statement Hybrid, true overall hook, skid flip. We need something that had more mid-lane reaction, something to help fill that gap in between. This may be skid too much on a heavy oil pattern. When you transition, this just offers a much stronger mid-lane reaction because of that hybrid cover stock, but still maintains some of that angularity down lane that you would see out of the Pearl because it's being polished.
And it gives the Hammer fans each different motion that they may be looking for in their game. You've touched on it a few times, from the cover stock to the core, but you know, we got all these little call outs here about a 3-year warranty on our carbon fiber infused balls. All these balls are carbon fiber infused in the core, with the exception of the thick shell symmetrical urethane balls. Just kind of give the Hammer fans a little history on and why we've done that, and how we're able to offer the 3-year warranty on the carbon fiber balls.
For Hammer, it's all about, I mean, it's a tagline, nothing hits like a hammer. Being tough, being durable. So about 5-6 years ago, we launched carbon fiber in the core system of the bowling ball. So we put it in the outer core, and what that did was it helped create a better bond with the main core and the cover stock. Traditionally, what happens over time is those bonds separate and allows the different materials to compress, and it makes the ball want to crack easier. So by having that carbon fiber in there, we have a better bond in the entire core system to the cover stock, and that enabled us to add that warranty from 1 year to 3 years for everything but these two balls here that say they're thick shelled urethane. Most recently, in the last couple of years, we decided to add it to the cover stock. Once again, the intent was to create a more durable product. What we found was we had durability, plus we had added performance, because the carbon fiber, when you put it in there, it creates little like strands and peaks and points in the cover stock, and it helps create more traction with the lane. So by adding it to the cover stock, we have more durability. Not only that, but we also have more performance. So kind of twofold there: durability story, better performance from the cover stock as well.
Well, Rich, I want to thank you for taking the time to go through the entire Hammer product line with me today. Hammer fans, I want to thank you for joining us. Be sure to follow us on all our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you have any questions or want more information regarding any of the products we talked about today, please visit hammerbowling.com.